Happy Saturday, fish keepers, and welcome to the weekend. How good is that? I don't actually know what we're going to be doing today. I've come in a little bit later than normal, and I've got to shut the shop a bit earlier than normal, so really limited on the work the amount of work I can do today. But let's have a walk around and see what we could possibly be doing anyway. I say that I've come in a bit later than normal, but the lights still aren't on in here, so yeah. I don't think I'll have time to do full normal spot cleaning / actual water changes in here, but I'll definitely get these 3-4 done now through here. And saying that, you know what it's like, I'll say I'll do these 4 and all of a sudden I do everything, so that might still happen, but yeah, definitely these 4 are on the cards today. It would appear that I forgot that I had a bag of fish sitting here last night, so lucky that hasn't caused any issues with them. They seem okay. So I've got to move some of these starlight bristlenose, which we can't see. I'm going to move some of them and release these now. I'll do that pretty much as soon as I put the camera down. And I have got some African cichlids here that were going to go into the tank at the front. I don't actually know if there's enough room for them in there. I'm not sure. It's looking pretty tight for room at the moment. We might see how we go anyway. And so the angels and Prostellas are ready to move into the shop as well. So that's at least some stuff to do today. Also got the blue lacustris that can move into the shop. And some black mollies as well. So might do a little bit of fish moving because that doesn't take up too much time on this shortened day. And before we go any further, it's time for everyone's favourite section, the algorithm engager. It's where I literally ask you a question, you answer it, and all we are doing is playing the YouTube system to get more people seeing these videos, to get more people seeing the Fish Room channel, to get more people seeing the Fanatics Friday Coffee Date, which is our live stream we do with awesome, cool guests from around the world. It is amazing. On that note, yesterday's guest, Jackie, sent me a message this morning saying that the strike has ended overnight. So how bloody cool is that? If you want to know more about that, check out yesterday's video. So today's question I have for you, this is a pretty important one here. Have you niched your hobby down? I mean that in the sense of, like, I'm really interested in Frontosa and Tanganyikan cichlids, as well as L-number plecos and corridoras. So that's not super niche down. Are you right just into the corridora scene? Are you right just into the live bearer scene? That's kind of all you do. Is L-numbers just your thing? Have you niched your hobby down into one specific type of fish? And have you even niched it down even further into only dealing with Haplochromis, for example, if you're a African cichlid keeper, or only dealing with guppies, for example, if you're into the live bearers? So have you niched your hobby down, or you're an eclectic fish keeper and like to have lots of everything throughout your fish room or your aquariums? Sun's out, signs out, let's go baby. 10 AM, we've kicked off, we're away. How good, what a gorgeous day. Why on earth am I stuck at work? Way better things to be doing. Or do I? That is the real question. Do I have better things to be doing? I'm going to walk in this door. You guys don't often see me walk in this door. There we go. Look at that. And just like that, I'm back in the cauldron. Even locked the door behind me. Yeah, now I'm inside. I don't actually think I've got better things to do today. I'm living the dream, living the life, playing with fish. How good! I've been having a few issues in this tank over the last week. Demisoni's dying, electric yellows doing weird stuff. Did some water tests, nothing in there, although it's looking a little bit like it is, but it's just the camera and the angles, everything else like that. On a white screen, it's all clear. I've just put it down to Demisoni's and African cichlids and Mbunas just being straight out dicks and beating each other up for the reason why the demos are dying, and possibly not enough hiding spots, like I said the other week, which I haven't done anything about, which is my fault, for electric yellows to be kind of looking a bit weird. So Just remember I've got all that rock sitting at the back, so maybe I utilise some of the rock, eh? That's a good idea, Cam. How about you do that? It's working on a Saturday is pretty thirsty work. It's my third coffee and all I've done is replied to a couple of comments, tested some water, and done a walk around and said I'm going to do some stuff today. Woo! She's going to be a fizzy hummy afternoon, that's for sure. I wonder how many coffees I can drink before I go, that is enough for the day. So we update on our Starlight Eggs. Not sure if that is fertilisation, development, or fungi starting. Like I said, I haven't ever spawned the citrus eggs outside of basically allowing the male to do it, so I don't kind of know how they develop, so I guess we'll tell. I might do a wee bit of a quick vacuum of some of that gunky stuff out of there just to keep it a bit cleaner soon though. So we've done our fish moving, got our Pristella tetras and our assorted angels, which are actually quite pretty, and they're up through here. A couple of smallish, or the bigger of the smallest starlight bristle noses. I think that's all we've got out the back that can move. I'll just double check in a minute, but I'm pretty sure that other than the African cichlids, which I'll do after this water change and a bit of a rearrange. We'll double check that in a second. I think that is all we've got as far as fish movement goes today. I also forgot that I've got to set up the 2 live streams today, or at least get all the information sorted out for that. So this week's 3 Let's Talk Aquariums podcast, we're talking about the beautiful frontosa, one of my favourite fish that we have. One of the favourite fish that I have, one of my favourite fish in the hobby in general. And then we have, what's going on? For the Fanatics Friday's coffee date, we are speaking to an African cichlid guy, Larry Johnson. What do I know about Larry? He does a lot of stuff with African cichlids. He's pretty well prominent in that world. Does a lot of diving and that kind of stuff, so that's going to be quite fun as well. On the topic of frontosa, aren't they pretty? Everyone loves a pretty fish. Look, Dirk Digglers are changing everything around again. Beautiful fish. Love me some frontosas. Clearly I'm getting forgetful in my old age, because I already spoke about having to move the mollies and the blue lacustras. So yeah, go me forgetting stuff. I've also got a metric buttload of cremensis that are ready to go. However, there's a metric buttload of them in the shop already. Same with these African butterfly cichlids, so they can hold back out here for a little bit longer until we clear up some space in the shop. So 1 tank, 2 tank, and some African cichlids once we've done some stuff. Also, while I'm here, these guys aren't quite ready yet. The white clubman is not far away, but I just noticed a bit of rapashi floating out before, and there's still quite a few of the Bosmani rainbows here, more than I actually realised, so I guess that's a little bit of a win, but we'll take that out right about now so it doesn't foul the water. Gross. Blech. Haven't moved the blue lacustras or the Africans yet. Got my handy dandy big Bertha hose out. We're doing some massive water changes in through these 3, and then we'll move them into there. I'm a little bit stuffed because the blue lacustras are quite large, and they get quite large. There's too many to go into one of these sort of smaller 2-foot tanks, which means I've kind of got to put them into one of these tanks. No light means they ain't going to sell in there, or intermittent light means they're not going to sell in there. Red terrors in here are probably going to beat the absolute bejeebus out of them. Not a great option. African cichlids, not a good mix. Try and make sure I put fish that are full-time compatible together. With Africans, that's a no-go, which sort of leaves them in here with the paradise fish and eventually blue acaras, which is already relatively full, but I guess that's about the only option I currently have for them. But before we do any of that, we're on to number 4, baby, and we are really beginning to hum now. Woohoo! Yeah, we're cooking with fire, baby! Not gonna lie, Big Bertha is an absolute monster. Really hard to control, but man, it is rapid. Like, it's about 4 minutes. It was less than 1 song on the music machine that I'm listening to get through all of them. Like, insanely rapid, but an absolute monster of a draining device. Look at the girth on that thing. Like, seriously, it just flies out. So maybe, just maybe, I'll have enough time to get through here. Maybe. Yeah, that's some rock and roll. Originally I thought it looked like it sort of settled them down and the yellows were kind of finding their way in through the rocks, but they're still doing the same thing. So maybe not. Going to risk it for the biscuit. We're going to chuck the impangas in. Well, I believe there are impangas in there. Purely because I need to put them in there and they need to sell. They can't just sit out the back, and it's hard to sell fish when they're out the back. Hopefully with some good management we might be okay. We'll just find out, I guess. And we put the blue lacustris in there as well. Everything's coming out of Millhouse. For those playing along at home. 5! It's probably time for some breakfast, being it's about just after midday as well. Should probably do that soon as well. But we'll just keep drinking coffee because it's way more fun today. Water changes through these 4 completed. New fish added to aquariums throughout here. Completed. I think we'll leave that for that today as far as wet hand stuff goes. I can do them next week. Same with dealing with these cleaning things next week as well. We'll get on to computer work now. I'll go through, check the emails and set all the stuff up for the live streams coming up. Get that done. That will probably take me for the best part of an hour and a half to 2 hours, and that will do the best part of the day, I think. Before I jump on the computer, time to feed the froggies! The froggos! Old mate knows. He's all like, ooh, it's coming. Got it? You got it, mate? You got it? Gone. I don't know if you got that. Looks like you got it because it's not floating around there. We'll take that as a yes. Let me see, I can't quite see. You got some of it, but not all of it, so I'm just throwing another cricket in there with him. You got all of that one. No, definitely got a big chunk of that piece. Which will mean that somewhere in here, there's a cricket that I need to find as well. Old mate, the other one, who was just in that corner, is scarfed it off, obviously not that hungry. There he is there. Doesn't seem as quite as hungry, but we'll give it another go in half an hour or so and might change its mind. How good is this for an absolutely stunning thumbnail for this week's 3 Digital Aquarium podcast? Come at me, discus fools. Frontosa are the real king of the aquarium. None of your discus round, weird looking fish. Frontosa for life. For life! Feeding out some more of the good stuff to the old puff puffs. Really am enjoying this discus mix as a frozen food. It appears to be working that in the tropical quintet to be getting these little dwarf puffers onto other food that aren't just frozen bloodworms and alive things like brine shrimp and whatnot. So possibly a good wee thing to play around with if you have pea puffers and you're trying to find something different to feed them. Try them out on one of the frozen mixes and then remove the mix and add it to what you're using, if that all makes sense. What's that? I don't actually think I said that properly. I meant, if you're struggling to get your pea puffers onto something other than frozen bloodworms, might be worth getting one of the quintets or mixtures, put that into them for a while because it's got the bloodworms, they'll get used to everything else that's coming with it, and then go to something like a brine shrimp individual by itself or a cyclops individual by itself, so it's got a taste for them all the way through, and then you might be able to offer them multiple different sorts of individual frozen foods. In fact, I'm going to try that and see if that actually works. Once I've finished this container of frozen discus, I'm going to try something different. Why not? 6. And a pretty safe bet, that'll be the last one for the day. Next week, because we're approaching closing time, so we can talk about next week now. First port of call, we're going to get through this little bit here, get this tidied, so, which is actually not that bad, but in this little section here, up to here. And then we'll do this corner, the next day, which again isn't too bad, and we'll probably include the section through here. So that'll be Tuesday hopefully. Then we'll roll through here, hopefully Wednesday, and then we'll get on to this end through here. Hardest part last, I think. And a wee bit of a sneak peek for you that are still watching the end of the video. We get some work beginning on this tank this week coming up. Background, we're going to paint that black, I believe. Most likely at least, paint it black. Not the Rolling Stones song, like actually physically paint it black. We need all the piping out through here and over here, which is where it's stored at the moment. And we'll begin playing around with the piping, make sure it's all correct, because this is obviously set up as a reef tank. And there's a lot of stuff in here that I'm not going to need, but I want to make sure I've connected it all and then basically make it run without needing all the dosing stuff, because I don't need that for the time being. So this is the first step in the move of moving these dudes around and that tank around. So that's what we're playing with hopefully next week, all going to plan. So hopefully I can find some time to get rock and rolling with that. It's a big beast and I can't wait.